Imagine if you could distill the essence of every success, every meaningful connection, every moment of profound peace, down to a single learnable capacity. What if there was one skill, one mental muscle, that once strengthened, could recalibrate your entire experience of being alive? It is not a secret algorithm or a trick of productivity. It is something far more fundamental, more human. The one skill that changes everything is the practice of presence. The conscious, deliberate, and courageous decision to inhabit this moment fully, without the filter of past regret or future anxiety. We are living our lives in a state of constant mental time travel. Our bodies are here, in this room, but our minds are miles away, years away. We are replaying a conversation from yesterday, scripting one for tomorrow, scrolling through a digital highlight reel of someone else's present, all while our own life, our own precious, fleeting now, passes by like a film we are not watching. We are missing the soft texture of the morning air, the subtle shift in a loved one's expression, the quiet birth of a new idea, because we are not here to witness it. We are ghosts in our own lives, haunting the corridors of past and future, while the vibrant, messy, beautiful reality of the present remains unlived. The single most transformative skill you can ever master is the conscious, deliberate, and courageous practice of presence. This is not mere mindfulness or a passive state of awareness. It is the active and willful decision to inhabit the current moment with your entire being, to fully occupy the now without the persistent static of past regrets or the blinding glare of future anxieties. We spend our lives in a state of constant mental evacuation, our bodies anchored in one place while our minds time, travel to distant yesterdays and speculative tomorrows. This continuous exodus from the present creates a fundamental dissonance in our lives. We are like ghosts haunting the hallways of our own existence, physically going through the motions, but emotionally and cognitively absent from the very experiences that constitute our reality. We miss the subtle, sacred details that give life its texture, the softening light of a sunset, the unspoken worry in a friend's eyes, the first spark of a creative idea, because we are simply not there to witness them. Our attention, the most precious resource we possess, is perpetually on loan to other times and places, leaving our actual lives impoverished and unlived. This skill of presence is what recalibrates everything. It is the foundational practice upon which a meaningful life is built. When you learn to anchor your awareness firmly in the sensory reality of the immediate, you begin to respond to life rather than react from a place of accumulated baggage. A disagreement is no longer an automatic trigger for old wounds, but becomes a fresh situation you can meet with clarity and choice. Creativity ceases to be a struggle forced from a cluttered mind and instead becomes a flow state, a channel that opens when the internal commentary of self, doubt, and distraction is silenced. Most profoundly, our relationships are transformed. The greatest gift you can ever offer another person is not advice or solutions, but your undivided attention. In a world of endless digital distractions and divided focus, to be truly seen and heard is a radical act of love. Presence makes this possible. It allows you to listen not just to the words being spoken, but to the silence between them, to the emotion carried on the breath. It is the practice of making the person in front of you feel, for that moment, like the only person in the universe. This is the skill that turns ordinary interactions into genuine connections and deepens the bonds that give life its richest meaning. It is the difference between sharing a space and sharing an experience, and it changes the quality of every single relationship you have, starting with the one you have with yourself. We have become ghosts in the architecture of our own lives. Our physical bodies move through the world. They sit in chairs, they walk through parks, they hold the hands of loved ones, but the essential, conscious part of us, our awareness, is rarely at home. It is a perpetual fugitive, fleeing the present moment to take up residence in the two most treacherous places, the unchangeable past and the imaginary future. We are haunted by conversations that ended years ago, replaying them with new, cleverer lines we wish we had said. We are tormented by futures that have not yet happened, scripting dialogues for meetings that may never occur and rehearsing tragedies that are mere phantoms of our anxiety. This state of constant mental time travel is a profound abandonment of our own existence. We are missing the very substance of our lives in favor of its echo or its shadow. This self-abandonment has a tangible cost. When you are mentally reviewing a past mistake while reading a bedtime story to your child, you are not reading the story and you are not with your child. That moment is lost to both of you forever. When you are anxiously planning your week ahead while a friend shares a vulnerable secret, you are not hearing them. You have sacrificed a sacred opportunity for connection on the altar of future productivity. We scroll through digital highlights of other people's present moments while our own world, rich with sensory detail and immediate beauty, fades into a dull, unnoticed backdrop. We are living a curated life instead of a real one, spectators to a performance that is happening without us. The vibrant, messy, unpredictable, and breathtaking reality of the present remains unlived because we are not here to witness it. We are merely visiting our lives, showing up for the obligatory scenes, but missing the entire narrative arc that gives the story its meaning and its depth. This is the great tragedy of our distracted age. We have all the tools to connect across the globe, yet we have become disconnected from the very moment we are standing in. The practice of presence is often mistaken for a passive state, a quiet zoning out or a gentle drifting. Nothing could be further from the truth. True presence is the most active and courageous state of being you can choose. It is not the absence of thought, but the full, focused engagement of your awareness with the immediate, sensory reality that surrounds you. It is a deliberate act of anchoring yourself in the here and now, using the 5 senses as your mooring lines. This means feeling the undeniable weight of your body in the chair, noticing the specific pressure of your feet on the floor. It is listening not just to the dictionary definitions of the words someone is speaking, but to the music of their voice, the cadence of their breath, the slight tremor of excitement or fear, the profound meaning held within a pause. It is tasting a single bite of food as if it were a universe of sensation, exploring its texture, its temperature, its complex layers of flavor that you normally swallow without notice. This active engagement is a form of resistance. It is a rebellion against the autopilot of habitual thinking and the relentless pull of digital distraction. Every time you choose to pull your attention away from the swirling vortex of mental chatter and plant it firmly in the physical reality of this moment, you are performing a radical act of reclamation. You are reclaiming your attention, your experience, and ultimately your life. This is not a peaceful, easy practice. It is a discipline. It requires the courage to be with what is, without immediately trying to label it, change it, or escape from it. It means feeling the full weight of sadness without rushing to numb it, or sitting with a feeling of awkward silence without rushing to fill it with noise. In this space of active, open attention, everything changes. Your perception deepens, your intuition sharpens, and the world reveals a richness of detail you were previously too busy to see. The ordinary becomes extraordinary not because it has changed, but because you are finally showing up for it with the quality of attention it deserves. You are no longer a ghost in your life, but a fully embodied participant in the magnificent, unfolding present. The true power of presence reveals itself not in moments of quiet solitude, but in the crucible of human interaction. We have reduced communication to a transaction of information, a hurried exchange of data where we are often planning our response while the other person is still speaking. But when you bring the disciplined skill of presence to a conversation, you transform it from a transaction into an encounter. You are no longer merely hearing words, you are listening to a human being. This means perceiving the subtle emotional currents beneath their sentences, the hesitation that signals doubt, the quickened pace that reveals excitement, the quiet sigh that holds unspoken weariness. This depth of listening creates a sacred space around the conversation, a sanctuary of attention where the other person feels, perhaps for the first time that day, truly seen and authentically heard. This transformative effect extends to every domain of your life. In moments of conflict, presence is your greatest ally. When you are fully anchored in the now, you are not being triggered by old wounds or projecting fears of future consequences. You can see the situation before you with clarity, separate from the ghosts of past arguments. This allows you to respond from a place of conscious choice rather than react from a place of conditioned habit. You can ask a curious question instead of launching a defensive accusation. Similarly, in the creative process, presence is the key that unlocks flow. Creativity cannot be forced from a cluttered mind preoccupied with the outcome or the judgment of others. It arises in the space of open, non-judge, mental awareness when you are so fully immersed in the act of making, the stroke of the brush, the shaping of a sentence, the flow of code, that the critical inner voice falls silent. The channel opens and inspiration moves through you unimpeded. This is why our best ideas often arrive in the shower or on a quiet walk. It is in these moments that we have accidentally stumbled into presence. Ultimately, the practice of presence is the foundation of genuine love. Love is not an abstract concept. It is the ongoing, present, moment act of offering your undivided attention. It is the choice to put down the phone, to turn away from the screen, and to say, with your entire being, "In this moment, there is nowhere else I would rather be, and nothing else I would rather be doing than being here with you." This is the currency of deep connection, and it is only minted in the now. The most radical aspect of this transformative skill is its breathtaking accessibility. You do not need a special application, an expensive course, or a guru's permission to begin. The gateway to presence is with you at this very moment, in the simple, autonomic rhythm of your own breath. The entire practice is built upon the gentle but firm discipline of noticing when your mind has wandered and guiding it back. This is not a failure. It is the repetition that builds the muscle. Your awareness will drift into a memory of yesterday's meeting or a worry about tomorrow's deadline. This is inevitable. The practice is not to prevent the wandering, but to become the loving authority that, upon noticing the escape, returns the attention home to the physical sensation of air filling your lungs, home to the weight of your body in your chair, home to the sounds that are happening around you right now, without labeling them as good or bad. This moment, and every moment that follows, is an opportunity to begin. The past does not matter. Whether you have spent a lifetime in distraction or 5 minutes, the next breath offers a clean slate. This is why presence is the ultimate practice of self-compassion. It does not berate you for your absence. It simply and consistently invites you to return. You can start in the most mundane moments. While washing dishes, feel the warmth of the water on your skin. While walking to your car, notice the feeling of the ground beneath your feet. While waiting in line, observe the play of light and shadow in the room instead of reaching for your phone. Each of these tiny acts is a repetition, a deliberate strengthening of your ability to inhabit your own life. You are not trying to achieve a permanent state of Zen. You are building the resilience to return again and again to the only reality that truly exists, the present. This is how you cease to be a passive passenger in a life hurtling toward an unknown future.